in part 2 where we are creating our second Tunisian lace, which this one we're doing with a purl stitch. So we're first going to start off by chaining 23, and if 23 isn't long enough for you, you're going to add on by 4s. So then the next would be 27, then you add on an additional 4 if that's not long enough, until you get to your desired length. Once you do that, you're going to skip the first loop and you're going to go under the loop of the second loop, yarn over and pull through. You should see a piece of yarn in between the two loops, and that's where you want to put your crochet hook underneath. And then you're going to yarn over and pull through. You're going to do this along the entire length of the chain. So in mine, I chained 23, so there should be 22 loops on your crochet hook. If you did more than that, remember again, you're going to skip the first chain and then you're going to enter into the second chain, yarn over, pull up a loop along the length of your Tunisian crochet hook. Please make sure that you're using a Tunisian crochet hook because you're going to need the length in order to complete whatever project you're trying to create, whether it is a scarf or a blanket, so forth and so on. Once you get down to the end, we're going to do our normal foundation return pass. So we yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and we're going to continue doing yarn over, pull through 2 until we have one last chain on our hook. So the first pattern that we did was the simple stitch, where the first stitch that you're creating after you create the foundation row is going to be a simple stitch. And this one, our first stitch, is going to be a purl stitch. So let's get into this stitch now. So we skip the first chain and we're going to enter into the second chain. You need to yarn over. You need to go through your loop, wrap the yarn all the way around, and then pull through that one. That is a purl stitch. Then we're going to do a full stitch in between the space of those two chains. Then we're going to put our crochet hook in the top bar in the next two spaces. Then we're going to do a full stitch in between the next two chains. And then we're going to skip that loop or skip that chain, and we're going to do a purl stitch again in the next stitch. So again, yarn over, put your crochet hook in the front of the loop, yarn all the way around, pull through. Then we do our full stitch in between, then we go to the top, grab the top loop, yarn over, pull through. Then we're going to do a full stitch in between the next two. So put your hook in, yarn over and pull through. Then we skip one and then we start over. So our purl stitches first, then we're going to do our full stitch, then we're going to do a loop in the top bar, and then we do another full stitch. And you're going to continue to repeat that pattern until you get to the very end. The last stitch that you're doing in your chain should be a purl stitch. So you started off with a purl stitch, so you should be ending off with a purl stitch. So that sequence of 4, if you're adding on, should end you off with a purl stitch being your last stitch. And then you're going to do a regular, I believe it's a single crochet in the last hoop down towards the end. When we get towards the end, I'll make sure I'm making it very clear what we're doing towards the very end. Last stitch where we're doing a purl stitch. This is the last stitch of the pattern, And then we have our 2 loops down at the end. We need to make sure that our crochet hook goes in between the two hoops or 2 loops. And so I insert my crochet hook behind both. So I need to make sure that I've gotten both loops on my hook. Once I do that, then I yarn over and pull through. Now we're going to begin to do our return pass, and this return pass is going to be different from the traditional return pass. So you yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 1. Then we yarn over, pull through 4, and we yarn over, pull through 1. Then we're going to repeat this sequence where we yarn over, we pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 4, yarn over, pull through 1. And that's the sequence that you're repeating over and over until you get to the last 3 chains on your hook. So again, we are at the point now where we're yarning over. We're going to pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 4, then yarn over, pull through 1 until we get to the last 3 chains on the hook. So we're at our last 3 chains that are on our hook. We're going to yarn over, pull through 1. We're going to yarn over, pull through 1 again. Then we yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. And we have completed our return pass. Now let's get into our second row. Slightly different but similar. We're going to do our purl stitch in the second loop. Just like we did before, we're going to do a full stitch in between that big space there. Then we're going to look for the top bar, and we're going to put our crochet hook underneath that bar, yarn over, and pull through. We're going to do a full stitch in between that space, then a purl stitch in that next chain or that next stitch. Then we do a full stitch. Then we look for the top bar, the loop in the top bar. We yarn over, pull through. We do a full stitch, and then we're repeating the sequence over again. So purl stitch and that first stitch, and then we're going to do our full stitch in between that big open space. Then you look for the top loop on top of the leaf. I call it a leaf. Yarn over, pull through. We do a full stitch, and then we start over again with our purl. And you're going to continue repeating that sequence until you get to the very end. Remember that the last stitch that you're doing should be a purl stitch. So you should be ending on a purl stitch before you put your crochet hook in the last 2 stitches at the end to kind of do like a single crochet to end it off. We're at our last stitch of the sequence where we're doing a purl stitch. And then we're going to put our crochet hook in between the last 2 bars at the end. And we're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. Now we're going to do our return pass. So we yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 1, then yarn over, pull through 4, yarn over, pull through 1, and we're repeating that sequence. So after you yarn over and pull through 2, you need to yarn over and pull through 1. Then you yarn over, pull through 4, and you must yarn over, pull through 1. And that's the sequence that you're repeating for the return pass. Yarn over, pull through 2, then yarn over, pull through 1. Yarn over, pull through 4, yarn over, pull through 1 until you get to the last 3 chains that are left on your hook. I'm left with my last 3 chains on the hook, so I yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 1, then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and I am done with the second row. Now I'm just going to speed it up now, and you can watch as I go through creating a third row just for your additional practice. Remember, the sequence again is you're going to purl stitch, you're going to do a full stitch, you're going to do yarn over in the top loop, a full stitch, and then you repeat the sequence over and over again. If you forget the directions or the sequence at any point, just scroll back into the video. I have it listed up there for your convenience. So I just pulled through 4 and pulled through 1, and I noticed that I had more chains on my hook than I should have, which means I made a mistake. And so I need to correct it. I also noticed that the leaf was not lined up where it was supposed to be, but my last one actually did. So that means I skipped a pull through 2. And so I take the last chain off my loop, pull through until I have 3 of the loose stitches there. I'm going to take my crochet hook, put it back through those stitches, and then I'm going to pull through 1 more additional loop, because then I have my pull through 4, pull through 1, and now I can finish off the sequence where I pull through 2, pull through 1, and continue the sequence from there. So if you ever catch yourself making a mistake, the good thing about it is when you get towards the end, if you're not left with 3, you've made a mistake somewhere and you just need to kind of check your work. Here's the purl stitch Tunisian lace. Thanks for watching.